Alright, imagine this. You're at a party, casually chatting with someone, when suddenly they drop the bomb. The Earth is flat. At first, you laugh, thinking they must be joking. But as the conversation continues, you realize they're dead serious. They start talking about NASA conspiracies, hidden truths, and how the government has been lying to us all along. You might wonder, how does someone in the 21st century, surrounded by scientific evidence, still believe the Earth is flat? Is it ignorance? Misinformation? Or is there something deeper happening inside the human mind? Today, we're diving into the psychology behind flat Earth beliefs, why some people reject overwhelming evidence, how conspiracy theories spread, and what actually happens inside the brain when someone chooses belief over facts. The history of flat Earth beliefs. Where did this idea even come from? Before we get into the psychology, let's take a step back. The idea of a flat Earth isn't new. In fact, it's one of the oldest beliefs in human history. Ancient cultures, early civilizations like the Babylonians and Egyptians imagined the Earth as a flat disk floating in space. Greek science. By 500 BC, Greek philosophers like Pythagoras and Aristotle provided evidence that the Earth was a sphere, based on observations of lunar eclipses and ships disappearing over the horizon. Middle Ages. Despite popular belief, most educated people in medieval times knew the Earth was round. The myth that Columbus proved the Earth was round is actually false. People already knew. Modern flat Earth theories. The idea resurfaced in the 1800s with figures like Samuel Rowbotham, who promoted the idea of a flat Earth as part of religious and anti-science movements. So if the scientific world settled this debate centuries ago, why are we still talking about it today? The psychology of flat Earth believers. Why do some people reject science? At its core, believing in a flat Earth isn't just about rejecting science, it's about how the human brain processes information, trust, and identity. There are several psychological reasons why people embrace these beliefs. 1. The desire for control in a confusing world. Humans don't like uncertainty. Our brains are wired to find patterns, explanations, and meaning, even where none exist. For some people, conspiracy theories like flat Earth provide a comforting sense of control. Instead of accepting that the universe is vast, chaotic, and complicated, they latch onto a simpler narrative. The government is lying. NASA is hiding the truth. We are the enlightened ones who see the real picture. By believing in a conspiracy, they feel empowered, like they have special knowledge that others don't. 2. Distrust of authority and institutions. Flat Earth believers often share a deep distrust of science, government, and mainstream media. This skepticism doesn't come out of nowhere. Many people have grown up witnessing corruption, misinformation, and real conspiracies. For example, governments have covered up scandals. Corporations have lied for profit. The media has spread false narratives. Because of this, some people develop an extreme distrust of all authorities, rejecting scientific consensus in favor of alternative explanations. If they don't trust the government about one thing, why trust them about the shape of the Earth? 3. Social identity and group belonging. Flat Earth believers are often part of tight-knit online communities. In these groups, rejecting mainstream science isn't just a belief, it's an identity. Psychologists call this motivated reasoning, when people accept or reject facts based on what fits their personal identity and social group. For flat earthers, questioning the mainstream is part of their identity. If they were to admit the Earth is round, they wouldn't just lose a belief, they'd lose their entire community. 4. The Internet's role in spreading conspiracies. The rise of social media has made it easier than ever for fringe beliefs to spread. Instead of relying on scientific experts, people now get their information from YouTube videos, Facebook groups, and echo chambers where misinformation thrives. Search engines and algorithms often push confirmation bias, meaning, if someone searches for proof the Earth is flat, they'll find content that supports their belief, rather than challenging it. This is why so many people fall down the rabbit hole, watching one video after another, until they're convinced the world is hiding a massive secret. How do flat Earth believers justify their beliefs? You might wonder, how do they explain things like the curvature of the Earth? Satellites and space exploration? Gravity? Here are some common arguments flat earthers use, and why they don't hold up scientifically. 1. If the Earth is round, why does the horizon look flat? This argument is based on personal observation. Since we can't see the curvature of the Earth from the ground, some people assume it must be flat. However, scientists and pilots use multiple methods to prove the Earth's curvature, including high-altitude photography, the way ships disappear over the horizon, airplane flight paths. 2. NASA is lying about space travel. Many flat earthers believe that all space missions are fake, claiming NASA uses CGI and Photoshop to create images of Earth. However, independent organizations, like private satellite companies and amateur astronomers, have confirmed the same findings as NASA. 3. Gravity isn't real. Since a flat Earth would make gravity impossible, some believers argue that gravity is a hoax. Instead, they claim the Earth is accelerating upwards, pushing everything down. This theory falls apart when tested. If gravity didn't exist, things like tides, planetary orbits, and even the way we walk would work completely differently. Can you convince a flat Earth believer with science? You might think that simply showing someone evidence would change their mind. But studies show that people rarely change their beliefs because of facts alone. This is due to cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort people feel when confronted with evidence that contradicts their beliefs. Instead of accepting new information, they often dismiss it as fake, claim it's part of the conspiracy, double down on their original belief. So if arguing with facts doesn't work, what does? The best way to talk to a flat Earth believer. Psychologists suggest that the best way to change someone's mind isn't to debate them aggressively, but to ask questions. Instead of saying you're wrong, ask how do you explain scientific phenomenon? Find common ground, show that you respect their curiosity and skepticism. Encourage critical thinking. Help them examine their own sources and question whether their beliefs truly hold up. Final thoughts. What can we learn from this? At the end of the day, the flat Earth belief is less about science and more about trust, identity, and how humans process information. So instead of laughing at people who believe in conspiracy theories, it's important to understand why they think the way they do. The real lesson here? We're all vulnerable to misinformation. The same psychological factors that make people believe in a flat Earth also influence other areas of life, politics, health, history, and beyond. So the next time you hear someone say the Earth is flat, instead of arguing, ask yourself, why do they believe this? What information are they consuming? How can we encourage better critical thinking skills in society? And who knows? Maybe understanding why people believe strange things is the first step to helping them see the truth. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe for more fascinating topics. Stay curious, question everything, and I'll see you in the next one.